You have got to hear what Chris Jericho just said about WWE NXT beating AEW in the ratings on the October 10th, 2023 night. The latest head-to-head, because this battle between WWE and AEW, well, it intensified on this night, and Chris Jericho had a lot to say. I mean, a lot to say. I love Chris Jericho because whenever he does an interview, you know he's going to give both barrels, and he did. Oh, he ripped WWE. So, obviously, the battle of 10-10-23, WB loaded up NXT. This was the first time in a year that NXT and AEW went head-to-head after a lengthy battle, starting in 2019, running through, I believe, 2021, where AEW beat NXT mostly in the Wednesday Night Wars. Most of the time, they won. I think there was like 2 or 3 times where NXT actually won. So fast forward to this year, and WWE loaded it up with a loaded lineup. They brought in John Cena, LA Knight, Cody Rhodes, you name it. You name it. The Undertaker even was there. And they beat Dynamite. So this is what happened. The head-to-head battle between NXT and Dynamite, it saw NXT come out victorious because WWE brought in, like I said, Cody Rhodes, John Cena, Asuka, LA Knight, and The Undertaker for NXT, which drew 921,000 viewers and a 0.30 rating in the all-important 18 to 49 demographic on the USA Network, while AEW, they loaded up their show, and Dynamite drew 609,000 viewers and a 2.6 rating, 2.6 rating in the key demo on TBS. Now, TBS moved Dynamite off of its normal time slot on Wednesday nights because of MLB coverage. So, what did Chris Jericho have to say while speaking with the Messenger? Well, I'll tell you. He said, you can only bring in Cena and The Undertaker and Cody and everyone else so much because nobody wants to work on their secondary show all the time. And it was a little fun, hey, F you, AEW. I didn't even really worry about it. He added it was just another opportunity for them to stick it to us with stunt casting. He then went on to say that he actually contacted AEW President Tony Khan and tried to convince him of bringing in the likes of Mike Tyson, Snoop Dogg, and Shaq for the show to fire back at WWE. However, Tony Khan didn't want to do so. Jericho continued. This would be like a football game where you bring in all of your top stars from years ago and beat the other team 30-26. It's like a video game. Let's bring in Tom Brady from 5 years ago and then let him play for one game against Chris Jericho. Okay, you guys won. You only won 30-26. He added, and I love this part, so don't get too far up your own butts because you didn't do that good of a job as far as crushing us. And our show was better than theirs, quite frankly. So it doesn't bother me. It's competition, man. It's good for the fans. It's good for the companies, end quote. I love that line because it's like, okay, you had to bring in. Now, look, the key demo was a little bit closer. The total viewership wasn't even anywhere close to being on the same level. But like, you bring in all those names and you don't break a million viewers. Booker T talked about this on his podcast, and he was actually shocked or surprised is better terminology that they didn't win by a larger margin. And Tony Khan, who was quite active on social media that week, actually took a shot at WB and John Cena and The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels and Triple H and Vince McMahon and everyone else and their mother, and noted that, Shawn Michaels isn't Booker of the Year because of this show, because they loaded it up. And he took a shot at John Cena and The Undertaker for not drawing more than 1 million viewers. It is, to a certain degree, look, if Raw went up against Dynamite, Raw would win. If SmackDown went up against Dynamite, SmackDown would win. We've seen that in the past with SmackDown and Dynamite, right? Or SmackDown and Rampage, rather. It's not even close. WB is so far ahead, but they've had a track record and decades to build a company. AEW's been around since 2019. I think it's a little silly to compare Dynamite to NXT because at the end of the day, NXT is a developmental brand. But in this case, I don't think NXT would have won the night if they had not brought in as many big names as they had been. Could be wrong, but I just don't think so. Let me know down in the comments area below What do you think?